Hello there, my friends. Welcome back to SoulTree Meditation. If you are new here, welcome. Thanks again for joining me here on the channel. You can join me regularly for content regarding meditation, energy, manifestation, and the expansion of your consciousness. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about the concept of the world revolving around you, because when we look at the world in terms of energy and metaphysics and manifestation, you understand that the world actually does revolve around you. Most of us have been raised with this saying that our parents would maybe repeat to us, or we'd maybe hear once in a while, that says, well, the world doesn't revolve around you, okay? And that is actually an inversion. That is an inverted truth, because the world actually does revolve around you. And I don't refer to this in a narcissistic manner. However, when you understand how the quantum field works, and when you understand frequency, you understand that the world actually does revolve around you. So let's break this down a little bit so that we can understand it further. So each of us exists in our own hologram, in our own lesson, in our own game, so to speak, each and every single one of us. Yes, we are existing together as a collective. However, each one of us is experiencing our own life and our own version of reality that actually does revolve around us as the main player, okay? If you are a person who is clear cognizant, meaning that you have the psychic ability to just know and understand, you receive downloads from the spiritual reality, then you will understand this on a very deep level. When I started to really activate and develop my psychic gifts, I began to experience this on steroids. So the idea that everything is you pushed out is something that I experience on a regular basis at a very intense level. So if no one's ever heard of this concept, I do have other videos on this concept, and this is usually referred to in terms of Neville Goddard's teachings. So everything is you pushed out refers to the idea that every single person, every single thing, every single experience that you are experiencing is actually you. It's actually a reflection and a mirror image of the frequency that you are pushing out. And that is simply what it is. Each and every one of us exists on our own frequency. That is exactly why our life looks completely different from the next person's life, okay? So when we say the world does revolve around you, it does revolve around you because you are the one who is pulsing out the frequency that matches up to every single thing that you see and experience, okay? And this includes other people as well. So why is it interesting to know this? Why is it necessary to know this? Because when you can bring back the responsibility to yourself for every single thing that is happening in your life, you understand that you're able to change the game. Then you really understand how to manifest. Then you can really step into your creator shoes. All change has to happen internally first before you can see it reflected back to you externally. Because that is exactly what this game is that we are in. It is a holographic reflection that we all exist in. And this reflection is purely interested in you and your thoughts and your emotions and your desires, really, because you are a creator being that has come here to create. At the basis of all of us, we are all light beings that are here in school learning at the moment. So we need to understand how to learn and create within this quantum field, because that is what we are existing in. So the basis of this is simply that we are all just frequency, each and every single one of us. And wherever we are vibrating, wherever we are putting our attention is expanding into matter, which is what we see around us in our physical reality. So your frequency is made up of your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and your unconscious patterning. Okay, so the subconscious and the unconscious have a great deal of influence when it comes to creating the reality around us. And that is why usually we are creating things that we don't want to experience, or we are creating things that we don't know how they got there, because we're creating unconsciously. So controlling your frequency simply looks like controlling your attention and controlling your emotions, okay? And it's very easy to sit and have this conversation. It's very easy to, say, great, everything is me pushed out. Awesome, but really controlling your frequency, controlling that is meaning that in the situations that are difficult, you're able to kind of bring your frequency back and say, how am I going to think about this differently? How am I going to change the energy trajectory so that the reflection can reflect differently back to me? So this is really something that is shown to me in a special way, big time, not only because of my psychic ability, the clear cognizance. I go through life with a really intense understanding that every single sign I see, every single person and their circumstances, every single circumstance that I come into contact with is showing me something. In terms of my own personal experience, I began to see kind of through our hologram in a sense, so I can see the geometry, I can see the numbers, I can see how everything is math and numbers, and how that relates to me on a personal level, because it all does. And that is really what we're going to be waking up to, is that all of us are creating individually, and everything that comes into your experience is simply showing you something along your lesson plan, or it's reflecting something back to you. There's always something there that can be learned and can be taken from. Now, you're going to be able to see this in a really big way if you're a person that does a lot of internal work and you change your energy. Because the second you really change your internal energy, so if you have a healing, if you have a spontaneous epiphany, if you really shift your internal belief system or energy in a big way, you'll notice that everything in your life will change as well. And that is a perfect example to show that everything does revolve around you, because it simply just goes off of your frequency, okay? And that's powerful. When you truly understand that, you can take your power back in that way. You can really harness that power and use it to transform your life in a really big way. Now, I want to point out as well, as a hypnotherapist, when I work with my clients in a QHHT session and we are going through their past lives, which are actually just their current lives, their current experiences that are kind of in that quantum field that are still affecting them in their current now moment, in their current life circumstance, when they have a healing of, anything in this now moment, it is connected to those other lifetimes as well. So if we want to say everything revolves around you, it does revolve around you and your Akashic records and your energy and everything that you carry around. Everything is connected like a thread. It's all connected together. So I've heard some people say that, past life regression is bullshit, or, all of this stuff, it's just sort of a fluffy energy talk. But when you start to understand the basics of metaphysics, simply you're pulsing out a frequency at all times, and whatever blockages that you have there, or whatever is preventing you from vibrating at a clear frequency, is going to show up in your reality as things that are off balance, things that need to be fixed, things that possibly you don't prefer. And the reason is because you need to change your internal energy or your internal assumptions around those things, because you are in the driver's seat. You, as the person who is creating here, who is learning, who is going through this school, is in the driver's seat. I also want to say as well, this is a school that we are all individually going through, and each individual person's curriculum looks completely different from the next person's curriculum. And that's really important to understand as well. So when, we are all copying each other, we're all labeling each other, we're all trying to find the same solutions, but we are all in a different game. We are all in a different school, trying to look off of each other's paper to get the answer. And what we're finding is that the authenticity that's coming from within you is the answer. You are the one who is driving this. So you have to look at it in terms of listening to your intuition and understanding how to manipulate that frequency, understanding how to pulse out what it is that you want to get back. So if you can pulse out joy, if you can pulse out positive expectations, if you can learn to put your attention on what you want to see happen, on what you would like to see rather than what is being shown to you externally, you're going to see that reflection change and show you what it is that you are starting to pulse out, because that's exactly how it works. Your change in frequency will shift you into a change in circumstances. So yes, the world does revolve around you because you are the one who is holding the specific frequency that the hologram is simply reflecting back to you. Now, I know some people would kind of pose the argument if they're going through something very difficult. I didn't create this. I didn't vibrate with this reality. Why is this showing up in my life? And I would say simply because at a higher level, your soul signed up for this lesson. Your soul signed up to learn something through these difficult experiences. Every time you have a difficult experience, it is your oversoul or your higher self trying to show you something that you need to learn or something that you need to shift or understand on a deeper level within yourself. And usually hindsight is 20/20, so you can look back on a very difficult experience and understand why it happened and say, oh, I see how this helped to get me to this place and this helped to teach me this and this and this, even though it was very painful in the moment, okay? So everything here is actually working for you, even though it can be a very difficult game. And usually, again, people don't want to hear that because we have lived in a society for a very long time that has taught us to be dependent upon the system, be dependent upon politics, be dependent upon, what you're taught, be dependent upon your family, be dependent upon other people. But really, what's actually happening is that when you take back all of that energy you're giving to those other things and put it into yourself and say, how do I want to feel? Where do I want to be? What do I want to be creating? And you hold that there regardless of what's being shown to you in the external environment, then you are really the creator. Then you are going to see everything reflected back to you in the way that you actually want. Now, I'm not going to deny that this requires an incredible amount of practice to actually get this right, because we are so brainwashed and we are so programmed. And even though we're in a time period where everyone's waking up to this and we're starting to come up out of it, there's still a lot that's stuck in the subconscious and the unconscious. And usually, the people around the awakened ones can be very sleepy to this knowledge as well. So it just takes a lot of practice, and it takes a lot of becoming sovereign, meaning that you are disconnected from what other people tell you is right and wrong. You are disconnected from the system and its belief systems, and you are creating solely on your own as a sovereign creator. So that is kind of what I have to say on that topic, because, all of us kind of are really taught to be dependent. The dependence in this society, the codependence in the societal structure is extremely intense. And that's what usually keeps us from confidently moving forward and creating the life that we desire for ourselves, because there's this idea of what would other people think, or, well, this isn't the way things are done. Well, and it's that codependence that keeps us stuck, that keeps us from pulsing out the frequency that we actually want to be pulsing out. So I hope that this really made sense. I hope that this resonated with a lot of you. Again, just sort of a recap, the world does revolve around you because you are the one who is pulsing out the frequency that is going to be reflected back to you in your holographic reality. So once you learn to take control of that frequency, you can create any circumstance, any person, any situation that you want, and it will be easier for you to move through your lessons with grace, understanding that everything is trying to push you forward and move you towards what it is that you're actually trying to manifest. So again, I really hope that that made sense. I really hope that it resonated. I wanted to just leave a little housekeeping tip at the end of this video. For those who are my local clients here in Saskatoon, I am in the middle of a transition because I am moving out of the country very soon. So currently I am working at the Crystal Cove on Tuesdays and Fridays here in Saskatoon. If you're interested in coming for a reading, please feel free to reach out to me. And for all other clients who are, interested in booking hypnotherapy or other healing modalities, I'm still available for those. Just contact me directly on my email and we can set something up that way, as my studio is now closed. So thank you all so much for your support and your patience through this transition. I really love each and every single one of you. If you are interested in booking in for manifestation coaching, that is still available as well. So please feel free to reach out to me through email. The link to do so is in the description box down below. And again, I hope that this was helpful. Please take back your power, take back your confidence, and learn how to be the own creator of your life. And thank you so much for joining me again on this video, and I will see you again on the next one. Much love.